Welcome back, dear students and friends. We were discussing chapter number 8, the cell, basic unit of life. Students, in the previous session we have discussed the mitochondria and we have started with an introduction of a plastid. So again we start with the introduction of a plastid and then we will finish with a plastid. So you already know that the plastids, these plastids, they are present into plants and euglenoids. They are absent into an animal cell. These plastids, I again repeat, these plastids are present in plants and euglenoids, but it is absent in animal cell. What this plastid contains? This plastid, it contains pigments. And based on the type of a pigment what they have, these plastids can be further classified into three types. The first one is called as chromoplast. Second one is called as chloroplast. And the third one is called as leucoplast. These are the three types of plastids are present: chromoplast, chloroplast and the leucoplast. These are the three types of the plastids are present. Chromoplast, it contains a pigment. Which pigments are present into a chromoplast? The chromoplast contains carotene, xanthophyll, anthocyanin, okay, etc. These are the pigments, they can be found into a chromoplast. Chloroplast also contains a pigment, what we call it as chlorophyll. Okay, this is responsible for a photosynthesis and it gives a green color. Whereas the pigment present in chromoplast, they are responsible for giving color to a flower, fruits and seed. The color of flower, fruit, seed like white, yellow, orange, red is due to a presence of this pigment in a chromoplast. Leucoplast do not have a pigment. Okay, they do not have pigments. Leucoplast. But they store some material and based on that they are going to be named like amyloplast, elaioplast, and third one is leucoplast. Aleuroplast. Amyloplast, it stores what it stores? It stores starch. Elaioplast, what it stores? It stores fat or oil. Aleuroplast, what it stores? It stores protein. Okay, so these are the content that you can find into a leucoplast. Okay, so this is about the plastid: chromoplast, chloroplast and the leucoplast. We don't have to learn, yesterday I have taught you that we don't have to learn the chromoplast and leucoplast in detail, but now we have to learn this chloroplast in detail. Okay, so students, we will learn the chloroplast in detail today. Okay, so let's start with chloroplast. So now we are starting with the important plastid and it is chloroplast. You know that chloroplast is a plastid and it contains a pigment called as chlorophyll that is found in plants and euglenoids, but it is absent into an animal cell. Clear? So this chloroplast is of different shape. What are the different shapes of this chloroplast? The chloroplast may be spherical, it may be oval, it may be discoid, it may be a lens shape, etc. These are the different shapes of a chloroplast. I again repeat, what are the different shapes of a chloroplast? The chloroplast may be a spherical, oval, discoid, means a disc-like, lens shape. These are the different shapes of a chloroplast are there. This chloroplast is a membrane bound organelle. I am drawing over here. It is a membrane bound organelle. Okay. How many membranes are there? Not a single membrane. There are two membranes are present. Okay. How many membranes? Two membranes are present. Okay. one is called as an outer membrane, this one is called as outer membrane, like a mitochondria. Okay, then this is called as inner membrane. So two membranes are present, outer membrane and inner membrane. Okay, so it is a membrane bound organelle, but it is not a part of endomembrane system because its function is not coordinated. Okay, so this chloroplast, it is present in a plants and euglenoids, but they are present in plant cell and euglenoid cells, but mostly they are not present in all types of a cell. This chloroplasts are usually found in a mesophyll cell. Okay, they are found in mesophyll cell of a plant. This is the location where this found. Chloroplast is found in a mesophyll cell of a plant. Okay, next thing is that how many chloroplasts are present? So if you see the chlamydomonas, it is algae. In a chlamydomonas, the number of chloroplasts is 1 per cell. But if you consider any other mesophyll cell, like mesophyll cell, because mostly it's found in a mesophyll cell in a plant, then the number of chloroplasts are 20 to 40 per cell. So that indicates that the number of chloroplasts may going to be vary depending on the type of a cell and the type of living organism. In chlamydomonas, the 1 chloroplast is present per cell. In case of a mesophyll cell, 20 to 40 chloroplasts are present per cell. Okay, so this is about the number, location and the shape of a chloroplast. I again repeat, what is the shape of chloroplast? The shape of chloroplast is spherical, oval, discoid, lens shaped. Okay, where it is present, usually it is found into a mesophyll cell of a plant. How many numbers they are present? In a chlamydomonas, green algae, the 1 chloroplast is present per cell, means every cell possesses 1 chloroplast. And if you consider the mesophyll cell contains a 20 to 40 chloroplast per cell. So the numbers are also going to vary. And it is a membrane bound organelle. How many membranes are surrounding to it? 2 membranes are surrounding to it, that is outer membrane and inner membrane. Now have a look. The outer membrane is continuous, okay, but the inner membrane, it forms a folded structures. Okay, it consists of flat lamellar sac-like structures which are arranged in a stack pipe. That is arranged in a stack pipe. Okay, so this is the inner part. Inner part of a chloroplast, it contains flat lamellar structures. Okay, and they are arranged in a stack pipe. Okay, this is called as grana. Okay, the singular one is granum. This is the singular one, this is the granum. Okay, but many are present, so that's why we are calling as grana. Like see, this is another one, this is another grana. Okay, but when we talk about a one stack pipe, the singular one is called as granum. Okay, so this is another one, third one. They are connected, these grana are connected by a bridge-like structure. See, this is the bridge-like structures by which they are connected. And this bridge-like structure, it's called as intergranum membrane. What it is called as? Intergranum membrane. Okay, this whole structure is called as grana. Okay, the singular one is grana. I again repeat, what the chloroplast possesses. The outer membrane in chloroplast is continuous, but the inner membrane that forms a folded structure. Folded structure, how they are arranged? They are arranged in a flat lamellar structure arranged in a stack pipe. This is called as grana or granum. And the two grana, they are connected by intergranum membrane. They are connected by intergranum membrane. Clear? So this kind of arrangement is seen. So this grana arrangement is like you have seen a coin. Okay, when the coins are arranged, they are the flat from both the sides. when they are arranged in a stack pile. Okay, આપણે સિક્કાની થપ્પી બનાવીએ એક ઉપર એક બીજો ત્રીજો ચોથો પાંચમો, such kind of arrangement that is going to be found in a grana. And the grana, it contains a number of flat lamellar structure. The individual one is called as thylakoid. What it is called as thylakoid. And this thylakoid, it possesses the pigment. What we call it as chlorophyll. What we call it as chlorophyll. This thylakoid, all the one, I am not drawing in all. These all are thylakoid. Okay, thylakoids, it possesses the pigment. Which pigment is present? This pigment which is present in them. What I am showing, this is the chlorophyll. This pigment is present, chlorophyll. Okay, so the thylakoid, it is a single unit. This number of thylakoids, they combine together and it forms a grana, and two grana are connected by an intergranal membrane. Okay, now the rest portion, the rest inner portion, this is the inner portion. Okay, except the thylakoid, this is called as stroma. What it is called as? A stroma. So I say the inner environment, whole inner environment except a flat lamellar structure, that is called as stroma. Okay, this stroma and the thylakoid where actual photosynthesis takes place. Okay, so I again repeat the whole thing. Remember, how many membranes surrounding to a chloroplast? Two membranes surrounding to a chloroplast. One is outer membrane, second is inner membrane. The outer membrane is continuous, the inner membrane forms a fold and it forms a flat lamellar structure arranged in a stack pile. It's a flat lamellar structure arranged in a stack pile. It's called as granum, and when there are many, then it's called as grana. Okay? Usually in one chloroplast, how many grana are present? 40 to 60 grana per chloroplast. So in one chloroplast, how many grana are present? Usually 40 to 60 number of grana are present in it. Now its individual component, it's called as thylakoid. Okay, in one grana, how many thylakoids are present? The number of thylakoids which are present are in each grana 2 to 100 thylakoids, 2 to 100 thylakoid in a granum. Okay, and this thylakoid possesses a pigment called as chlorophyll. The rest structure, the rest inner part except this grana, this is called as stroma. Okay, now where the chemical reactions takes place. Okay, so in the thylakoid, or it's a grana. Okay, grana or thylakoid, both the places the chemical reaction takes place, means a chemical reaction of photosynthesis takes place, but that photosynthesis is divided into two reactions, light reaction and dark reaction. So here in a thylakoid, the light reaction occurs. Which reaction occurs? Light reaction takes place in thylakoid. But in case of a stroma, that is the inner portion, the reaction which is take place is dark reaction takes place. Both are the parts of photosynthesis, light reaction and the dark reaction. So students, this is important question. Light reaction, where the light reaction takes place? Light reaction takes place in grana or thylakoid. And where the dark reaction takes place? The dark reaction occurs in a stroma. Light reaction means it is a reaction of photosynthesis that occurs in presence of sunlight. That's why we are calling it as light reaction. Dark reaction means it is also a part of photosynthesis, but they do not require a presence of sunlight. Okay, and when both the reaction occurs, then the photosynthesis process completes. Okay, photosynthesis process includes both the type of reaction, light and the dark reaction. Light reaction takes place at thylakoid, and the dark reaction, it takes place at stroma. Okay, along with that, the stroma, the inner portion, it also contains a specialized thing. What it contains? The stroma contains DNA. It also contains the ribosomes. Ribosome of which size? Same like mitochondria. The ribosome which is present is of 70S in size. Such kind of a ribosome can be found into a stroma. Okay, so the stroma of chloroplast also contains DNA and the ribosome of 70S in size. So this is about a characteristics of chloroplast. Okay, it's characteristic of chloroplast. I again repeat the whole chloroplast, so you can come to know that chloroplast is of spherical, oval, discoid, lens shape. Usually it is found in a mesophyll of a cell. Okay, students, make a sentence. I have already told you, so make a sentence like this. Okay, the number of chloroplasts vary from cell to cell. Like the Chlamydomonas contains 1 chloroplast per cell. Mesophyll cell contains 20 to 40 chloroplasts per cell. This chloroplast is covered by double membrane, outer membrane and inner membrane, where the outer membrane is continuous and the inner membrane forms fold. It consists of the inner membrane. It forms flat lamellar structures arranged in a stack pile. This arrangement is called as grana or granum. This granum to grana are connected by intergranum membrane. The grana is made up of flat lamellar structure, what we call it as thylakoid. In a 1 granum 2 to 100 thylakoids are present, and in 1 chloroplast 20 to 40 grana are present. The rest portion, except the thylakoid and grana, the rest portion is called as stroma. The light reaction takes place in grana or thylakoid, whereas the dark reaction of photosynthesis takes place in stroma. Stroma also contains a DNA, double-stranded DNA, single double-stranded DNA is present, and it also contains a ribosome of 70S in size. So this is all about, you can say, a chloroplast. Okay. Now we move ahead, and now we are going to discuss the another component or another organelle, and that is a ribosome. Okay. So now we discuss the ribosome. See, ribosome is non-membrane bound organelle, means it is not covered by a membrane. It is non-membrane bound organelle. So that's why it is present in both eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell. But the ribosome of prokaryotic cell already we have discussed. Here we are discussing the ribosome that is present into a eukaryotic cell. The ribosome that was discovered by a scientist called as George Palade. This is a scientist, George Palade, who has discovered this ribosome. Okay, so the discovery of this ribosome that is done by this scientist called as George Palade. Okay. Next, how he has observed? He has observed that these ribosomes are a granular structure. It is a granular structure and it is a densely arranged. Okay, so it is a dense granular structure. It's a dense granular structure. Next thing, the ribosome, whether it's a eukaryotic or prokaryotic, the ribosome is made up of. It's made up of 2 subunits. One is larger subunit, like see, I'm drawing. One is larger subunit and the second one is smaller subunit. Okay? In eukaryotic ribosome, the size of this larger subunit is 60S, size of smaller subunit is 40S, and the total size is 80S. I again repeat, you have to remember, in the eukaryotic ribosome, the size of larger subunit is 60S, smaller subunit size is 40S, and the total size is 80S. Whereas in case of prokaryotic ribosome, the size of larger subunit is 50s, size of smaller subunit is 30s, and the total size is 70s. Clear? So this is going to be found in the size. What is S? The S means Swedberg unit. What is the S? It's a S denotes for density and size. It is a measure of density and the size. S means S denotes for Swedberg unit. Okay, it denotes for Swedberg unit. Okay, so ultimate thing is that you have to remember that in a eukaryotic cell the size is 80s. In prokaryotic cell the size of ribosome is 70s. You also have to remember the individual size of subunit because both the ribosomes are made up of two subunits, larger and the smaller. Here in eukaryotic ribosome, the size of larger subunit is 60 and the smaller size, subunit size is 40 and total size is 80s. Okay. These ribosomes, okay, they are considered as factories of protein synthesis. What they are called as? Factory of protein synthesis. Why it is called as a factory of protein synthesis? Because it provides a site for synthesis of protein. Here the protein synthesis takes place, that's why it is called as factory of protein synthesis. Okay. The next thing is that the ribosomes, what they contains, they are made up of RNA and the protein. Okay. So this is the composition. RNA and proteins are present in ribosome, or ribosomes are made up of RNA and protein. Okay, so this is about a structure of eukaryotic ribosome. Okay, it is a non-membrane bound. It was discovered by the George Palade. When he is observed under the electron microscope, it looked like a dense granular structure. It's made up of two subunits, larger and smaller. The larger subunit is 60s, smaller subunit is 40s, total is 80s. The S denotes for Swedberg unit and that indicates measure of density and size. The ribosome is the factory of protein synthesis because it provides a site for synthesis of protein and it also contains RNA and the proteins. So that's all about the ribosome. So students, today we have discussed the two organelle. One is, and they are important, one is chloroplast and the second one is a ribosome. Okay. Next, in the next session, we will learn the cytoskeleton, means a skeleton of a cell that we will discuss in the next session. Okay. Till then, please keep learning, keep watching and like and subscribe this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.